Man.
Possibly the Rengar. The Varus is still up currently, so we may just see the Rengar getting into play once again.
Yeah, it certainly could, and TSM has the ability to open things like that up based on their blue side bans, right? You can leave some of the high priority bans off the table. Dignitas can only take so many out, so they go for LeBlanc, they go for Ryze, and now they have to decide, do we want to fight Varus, do we want to fight Rengar?
And
they're trying to
so they're going to get one.
Exactly. So this is a response that you can do. If you're comfortable playing either side of it, then you can go for that. So as long as Lot is happy on Varus, Jace is happy on Rengar, and your team can play against it, then this is a great move to make.
We've been seeing a bit more and more. And it's not just about the meta. Sometimes comfort fits in with these compositions and how you play it. It's the way it feels. I like the way that everybody's been playing it.
Yeah, I like the Varus pick a lot more here, though. And the reason is Graves is on the table, right? So if Graves is up, then the Graves for Rengar trade is very strong anyway. So TSM can essentially get both by doing Varus first. They can do Varus and Graves or Varus plus Rengar, whichever is left up, by Dignitas. And this is a tough thing for the bot lane to fight against, especially TSM loves drafting their support pretty early on. We've seen a lot of Karmas and things like that, early stages in the draft for TSM. So if they get Karma plus a Varus, it's tough for Dignitas to lane.
They are definitely using all their time. We saw the Graves take all the way tick down, and now they're actually using all the time here for the jungle as well, considering mostly their picks, but also saying, like you said, if they take the Karma, what do we actually want to be able to do? Or play against, I should say. Jhin is going to be the lock-in for the AD carry. I believe that was expected.
Rengar may just go through completely if they want to let it.
Yeah.
Either way, when Dignitas locks their jungler, you don't need to pick it right away. You can think about it a little bit, but I would be surprised to see jungle go down to the next round for TSM, but they're going to do it. So Dignitas could take now Rengar, Elise off the table. There's still lots of other options, but Svenskeren should be at a disadvantage in almost any jungle matchup now. The question becomes, is the trade-off worth it? Because Dignitas can pick their mid or their top lane right now. The other will likely be targeted in pick ban.
Yeah.
So if you pick your top laner, you can expect TSM likely to ban out things that are strong against Jace, and you can expect Team Dignitas to very likely be banning out the highest tier junglers. They can deviate from that if they don't think, hey, if you're saying, well, Keen has too many champions, it actually doesn't matter if we attack the champion pool, or Svenskeren has too many, it doesn't actually matter, then you can see like deviation, but otherwise I expect that.
He's going to drop the Lee Sin if it all comes to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's
a little
Lee
bit
Sin,
more of that
there's
too.
Olaf, there's Rek'Sai, there's lots of junglers that are available. We saw success with Zac even, and they are a little bit more worried about some other picks. So this may be something where they're trying to pick up the Karma or a support that they feel is weak into Thresh, and they're prioritizing bot lane so that they're not at too much of a disadvantage against the Varus. Yeah, Karma taken off the table as a response. So this is them saying, okay, they're banning Thresh, so they want Karma, now we take away Karma.
Next ban, Kop discussing with the team. Be looking at Svenskeren. They may not choose to do so though. 6 seconds left. Dignitas using all the time they have here for second and last ban in phase 2. Lulu.
Huh. That almost is saying you want to play Malzahar to me. And Malzahar is already banned off. So yeah, I'm not actually sure about the Lulu at all, really. Huh. That's interesting. I'd be interested to hear why Kop is actually going for that ban. Traditionally, Lulu has really been played into things like Malzahar because of the passive against the Voidlings, so you take it out. It's also strong against Assassins. Things like, I guess, maybe they're worried that Jace jumping in could get locked down.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm pretty confused by that ban.
If they're trying to go for basically a squishy comp here, you are still looking for Hunter's top lane. He basically pick of the litter with just Shen being banned out, so it's not much to... He's still going to have a tank. Not going to have to be saved by a Lulu. The Tahm Kench was banned out on red side by TSM last game. That was their final ban. Next Special played that to quite good effect yesterday, so we'll get it again. And we'll see what TSM answers with here. Interesting pick ban phase. We do see that TSM had banned Ori for their final ban.
Yeah, TSM could look to bully lane if they want to lock in something that is a bit more aggressive, but they are lacking a tank in their lineup right now.
Yeah.
So drafting Braum can help to make up for that. It's obviously a trade-off. If you go like something like Nami, you can probably absolutely smash the bot lane, but you won't have that flexibility of having a bit of a frontliner in the Braum. So that's the trade-off that they have to decide about. If they go range support, they're looking to win lane pretty hard. If they go melee, they're sacrificing the lane a little bit for hopefully more teamfight strength.
Kha'Zix and the possible Bio Bard.
And Biofrost on this Bard is very strong. It works quite well for the engage. You can use the Bard ult to respond to things like Jhin.
Yes.
But Bard is not the only one who can shut down the Jhin. Braum is very strong at that as well.
Also give him a little bit of tank to put in this composition as they not the healthiest squad.
Having some sort of tanky member to absorb the Jhin ultimate is actually really important because he's going to be building lethality. If none of your members are stacking armor at all and you have no sort of shielding support who can absorb the shots, it's super disruptive. So even just picking up the Braum, you throw up the shield, you absorb the Jhin ult, that can make a pretty big difference.
And they do fire a little bit of AP into that composition. We get Keen on Echo this time. I was worried about the full AD, but Jace is already in the hands of Bjergsen. Don't have to worry about that too much. No talent coming in for Keen, although a possibility.
Yeah, it certainly is. We saw it a couple times in the LCK.
Yeah.
Last night, 2 mixed results, and Keen, he's going to be looking to split push on Echo. That is really where the champion shines. Although it's laning phase, you are going to be probably pretty disadvantaged early against that Jace. You can get poked out. It gets to a point where you're essentially just spamming all your mana, using your Qs to shove in the wave or try to at least take down that wave. Then you go for an early base, you TP back, and that is kind of how you stabilize in lane.
All right, we had a lot of focus towards the top lane last time as Zale. Renekton, Graves, kill pressure. Not a whole lot of lockdown kill pressure, but a Rumble Kha'Zix. Always kind of scary to gank a Rumble. How do we see that action happening here in the early game this time?
Yeah, if you had an Elise on Dignitas' side, that's more something that you can look for the dive, look for the lockdown. Rumble is a champion that naturally pushes, so he exposes himself to those ganks, and we'll have to be very careful about that because Renekton has the stun, he has the dash to follow up. So Rumble is going to have to either A, be protected by Svenskeren through warding so we know when Graves is around, or Svenskeren will have to be top lane looking for those counter ganks. So there certainly can be a lot of action on the top side. And unlike Shen, if Rumble falls very far behind, Renekton can dive him, he can smash in the split push. So expect a lot of tension up there.
All right, well, hashtag TSM win, hashtag dig win. We are getting onto the Rift for our second game of this series. TSM coming out with a nice comeback win in game 1. We'll see if Dignitas can shake that off and hit the ground running.
Definitely have to. Even a lot of respect being shown to some days to his Renekton by Haunter here. Starting cloth plus potions is actually a very defensive start. And the fact of the matter is, since Chaser is dealing physical damage as well, both of the threats for you topside are really going to be physical damage. So building into a super early Secret's Arm Guard would make a lot of sense because that helps you against Someday, and it helps you in any potential 2v1 or 2v2 situations too, since Graves is also AD.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Let's see if Svenskeren tries to do any trickery here. Doesn't look like Someday's going to go down and help Chaser. Or they may just get a Time Winder over the wall from Keen to help clear out that Raptor Pit, start things off here.
Yeah, I mean, Someday can walk down. He's definitely going to want to watch and make sure that they're not invading and getting that deep vision. But Renekton plus Echo, some of the best leashes that you can have on those Raptors. Plus Graves already clears it well himself. You throw down the Renekton Q, the Time Winder for Echo, and then Graves has his own AoE. You can essentially instantly clear out that Raptor Pit, and it's going to be a much nicer start. But that said, Bjergsen can also throw a Shock Blast over the wall, which is going to help out Svenskeren.
All the tricky starts.
Yep. Someday even kind of walking around the long way, so he's not spotted out by the ward, but no one is going to be blown away by the Raptors start. It's pretty expected at this point.
It's funny how it takes like a while for these things to happen though. Like, oh, I can get a little XP, share to help you out. You get a faster jungle. It only takes one person doing it.
And it's worth noting, Keen actually didn't leash, so he got the early push instead to try to mitigate any disadvantage he may have. Bjergsen must leash because his top side is too far away to help out. So he has the advantage there of being able to just push the wave early and try to just keep Bjergsen shoved in where he can't get the auto attacks down as much like that.
Feels pretty nice to get a few autos in.
Oh, he's going to go for a level 2 gank. I think he's already pinging top side. Chaser is looking for some cheese. Rumble thinks he has time to push this in, but he does not.
This is perfect, too. The wave is meeting, so they don't have anything to
Here they
kind
go.
of get caught up on. Shot forward. That could be against the wall. Just misses. End of the line is only going to do a bit of damage as it comes back, and they should be able to lock down the kill. Ruthless Predator keeps him in range, and the kill comes in for
Hauntzer
Chaser.
turned around. I mean, he was actually out. He thought he was safe. He turns back around, it looked like, to try to get some Flame Spitter damage and ends up dying because of it. Someday did not have Slice and Dice. He did not have his E yet, so he had to get in melee range for the stun. Hauntzer lets him. He was actually out of that, I think.
Teleports in. It's also pushing towards him, but slightly in the favor of Someday.
We'll have to watch
see
this
this again.
more. So Someday needed to flash and start with his stun. He actually flashes and Qs, so Someday has already messed up this gank. But then Hauntzer stops and turns around,
Harpoon.
letting him get the stun off. So both top laners misplayed this gank. It should have been a free kill for Dignitas, but they messed it up. Hauntzer throws it right back.
Slice through. Looks like he's going to hold on to that one. Someday's okay.
And this is now really tough for Someday because Graves is not there. He needs to come up and help him push the wave in. When the wave is stacking up against you, you need that assistance, but Hauntzer does clear it out, so that point is now moot.
So a lot of heavy action to start off to the top side once again. We wondered if it would happen, and it becomes a level 2 gank. He says, forget it, I'm not playing Elise or what, we'll just go for the kill. Looks like Skirmisher Saber buy for him with a longsword. It looks like he's going to start going for a bit more pressure. Down to the bottom side for Chaser.
And try to increase that dueling power. Kha'Zix is someone who pretty much anytime he sees you in the jungle can just jump on you. And having that Skirmisher Saber can really help because it's kind of a mini exhaust, a 20% damage reduction. You get more true damage. It really increases Graves' dueling power.
Looks like they may have an idea about where Chaser is.
Those Vens coming up.
It's the 1-2. Someday keeps himself over that 50%. He can usually just heal up a good bit of the Flame Spitter damage with a nice Q. And he keeps himself healthy in lane. Hauntzer 19 to 13. Those guys really didn't actually do or get too much of a deficit on the CS as they were fighting when there was a giant mini wave.
No, I mean, Someday's actually behind in lane, even off of this,
Right.
because the wave had been stacked up towards his opponent and it wasn't pushed in. Hauntzer TV's back, he actually gets to collect a lot of these. And now, Svenskeren has been pressuring topside, so despite the fact that Hauntzer actually died, the kill didn't go to Someday, and he's missing out on so many minions now.
Nice pressure under the turret, especially to be able to hit Braum Qs like that. Really giving Lod a second thought about how to get up for minions. Let's see how they manage these ones. Nicely done. Grenade across, 1-1. Oh, they won. It happens to the best of us. Clear out for Someday now. He's got some
my
time
God,
to
that
hang
is
out at turret, but
Bad last hitting.
No,
He just missed like 5 or 6 range minions in a row. That is rough.
as well as sometimes you're just trying to say, I'm not going to hit these. I need to call and auto as many as I can before the turret wipes them out. But there was no timing to that, or method to that, I should
It's
say.
a case of like when you try to get everyone and you can't, you're going for ones you can't get, and you mess up getting the easy ones that you can. So you prep you accept, okay, I missed the first one, but I prep all the other ones, and then I get the rest of those.
Ruthless Predator locks him down, end of the line, right against the wall. Hauntzer could be locked up on this one. They leave it. Should be going down. A Q to come out here from Chaser. There's the kill on Chaser, though. Who didn't see that coming?
Dignitas is completely botching this early game in the top side, and now Someday is probably going to get taken out here. Equalizer is up. Sven is here. Someday is going to
Cuts
get
off the
taken down.
line. Slice and dice through. Is he just going to solo him? He does. Someday's forced back into the fight, into the frying pan, and Hauntzer cooks him up.
Oh man, I mean, Hauntzer playing this very well, but Chaser taking a step back when he needed to go forward for one more auto.
Oh.
Let's see this again. The initial play is fine.
So is it a reload and not an auto? Because it feels like they almost tried to give each other the kill too.
So, I mean, they go in, they start the initial play. Chaser is kind of getting blocked by minions a little bit here, but he does, look, he steps away. He still has another bullet there. He's
yeah.
like, okay, you got
Yeah.
it. I take a step back. He still had the final shot that would have killed off Hauntzer, then chases through the turret with the suicide. Level up here, hits 6 for Hauntzer. It's an easy clear out. And then just Svenskeren being there corrals them into the Rumble. And I mean, this is such a disaster from Dignitas. Even on the play that worked, they misplayed. They lost minion control. This is now a 2-kill Hauntzer, up 17 CS. That is everything has gone wrong for Dignitas.
And the pressure once again to Someday on the top side, trying to get that carry going. We'll see how it fares now. We'll see if Chaser decides to affect any of the other lanes. Bot lane has been pressured in 61 to 59, so CSing not too bad from Lod, but they have been spending most of their time under the turret, not an advantage. Mid lane Bjergsen and Keen 70 to 56. So we kind of came into today saying Dignitas really needs to come out of lanes at least even or find themselves that lead in the early game. But
I mean, we talked about the fact that Dignitas is very obvious with what their game plans are for the most of the time. They always attack topside. They did it in game 1. Haunter was able to absorb the pressure, not fall too far behind, even though he was getting camped extremely hard. And in game 2, he does one better. I mean, he not only absorbs the pressure, but he ends up with a massive lead because of it. And a lot of credit has to be given him, despite the misplays from Dignitas.
Yep.
It was on Haunter to capitalize on them.
Absolutely.
And he did big time.
We wondered, you always say, you gank the Rumble in the top lane, things can go real bad. That's a very scary gank.
Especially post 6, where he is now.
Yeah, things are only going to get more scary. Look at him, he's behind stunned and ruthless predators, just firing forward with his flame spritter. He cannot really contest here with Haunter.
And look where Sven is now, right? Sven is sneaking up here. If Haunter can poke him down a little bit more, he's going to wait for the minion wave to pass. May look to try to sneak up behind him, or could wait for the grave. So Svenskeren has some options here. There's also a lot of pings coming down from Bjergsen on mid lane. It looks like Bjergsen wants some help here to try to dive.
Over Raptors, possibly. No, he's going to take the easy route. Chrono Break is still up. Bjergsen holds to the skies, so he does not push off Keen, but they hang out for a second.
Without Bjergsen getting more poke down there, it wasn't really worth trying to go for a dive. That would have been super risky. And wow, Someday actually is popping the ult. I think he was expecting more of a commitment to that. Maybe he just wants to base and actually come back with the TP, but either way, commits the ult, does clear out the wave.
Saw that turret shot hit Haunter from his Deathfire touch. I was like, oh, well, I actually don't want that, but thanks for Dominus. I'll take it. 70 to 51 as well. Someday trying to keep himself up, and it kind of works out. You build a bit of armor to try to be a tank, but you also want to be able to do damage, and those items cost a bit more money, so Someday is really going to be struck for creating pressure on the map for the team. They want him in those lanes.
And Someday has to be careful now because he's out of potions. He has no ultimate. He now has to base, contest at the blue buff.
Blue buff does go to Chaser, but that means it's not going to Keen. Teleport just behind from Haunter. Can he throw the equalizer straight through the jungle? He gets slowed on his way in. He hit a captive audience, so they weren't able to fully get themselves into position for the fight.
And Someday going to cancel the TP, which means now TSM start up the dragon. The patience on the equalizer there means they will have it available for the fight. They will be able to get this, it looks like, but are kind of low. Can they get out? Seems like it.
Also, it looks like a Hell TP from Someday, as he's back coming out right now.
Yeah, he started up,
lane.
but decided to cancel. Didn't think they could get anything done there, which gave TSM the dragon.
Looking at Zanya's coming in for Haunter. Bigger and bigger for him. Not sitting on too much gold right now as he just came back with his buy, so we'll wait on that. Easy clears here for TSM, the bot side.
I think it's very even on the bot side pretty much. A couple CS is all that is really separating these guys. Both teams playing it pretty well. But the advantages are stacking up in the solo lanes for TSM, and that is what they can really be happy about.
Still have to see what can happen for Dignitas once they get out of this laning phase. We've seen a lot of the Jins be able to open up with a curtain call. A few kills to come off of that. Pretty squishy members on the side of TSM, so they really may be able to take advantage of that damage if Lod can get himself going. Just finishing up Yomu's now.
It's a great point, because TSM has no true tank. Yes, they have Braum, but you're building support items. This is not like you're building Sunfire Cape and Spirit Vestige and fully tanky. So for Dignitas, a lot of success is going to come from creating flanks and creating chaotic fights. Jin ultimate comes up. The ultimate comes in from Xpecial, bringing Someday in for a flank.
Yeah.
You know, Keen comes in. If you can get these very disruptive fights where Keen and Someday and Xpecial are all diving, it can break the battle lines of TSM, and they could potentially fall apart in a fight like that.
It is a fight where if they scatter, it's not as good. You want to fight around that equalizer. Haunter can only place it once.
Yeah, you want to fight around the equalizer, and with both the Varus and the Jace hitting the same person, you know, proccing Braum passive, kiting back together. They want to be that kind of unit.
That's true. Little horizontal play from Keen and Bjergsen here as they taunt each other with junglers on either side. Ooh, Keen takes it just out of his parallel convergence, but hops back in. That was
Here
pretty
comes Special.
slick. I'm not sure it's going to keep him alive too long. He has to chrono break back. They do pull in Special through the Abyssal Voyage. Nobody's with him, though. Just on their tail is Biofrost to lock this one down. Bjergsen turns to Chaser for help from Biofrost. Sends Scaring up to Haunter.
Haunter's here with the
Now they're
equalizer.
pinched once again. Chaser! Deathfire Touch takes him down, and they are going to be able to get a Special as well. 2 for TSM, and they get out with red buff as they got chased into their jungle.
Dignitas actually playing that initial fight very well with Special and Keen, but Haunter having lane priority in the top side means he makes the roam, he nails the equalizer. Great job from him working with his mid lane and jungle to turn a losing play into a win, and now they want more on Sunday. Braum will start the dive.
He just wants that minion wave. Concussive blows, locks him up, allows the team to put the damage down, and Haunter 4-1-1 with the majority of Dignitas' pressure in the early game. Here's the Jhin ultimate. We were looking for the follow-up. Can Keen make it? Getting taken down. A nice shot by Lod. No follow-up to come from this, but they do get a little bit off the back of that.
Still a great snipe out there by Laud, at least getting a kill back. Very well played from him.
A little bit of a reset now for both teams. Bjergsen looks like he's got some free time in that mid as he clears out waves. Didn't get too much damage onto the turret though, so you still have to be a little weary of everybody in that top side jungle. Let's see this again.
And here's the play again. Special
Let's
puts
not-
it home, but Keen in trouble here against Haunter.
Oh, he's still going for it. He's not overheat. He's right on the halfway point. Scrap shield to be coming up. Can't deny the vision with Ward in the brush. It was only a matter of time. But you can see Keen not too happy with results, trying to make something happen right away.
Yeah, going for that trade kill, but TSM hovering around the bot side. They know they will have numbers advantage down here if they want to try to make a play. So they're going to push for a turret because Chaser is up pushing for the top lane.
Bjerg pulls off mid. Knows that's actually going to call some respect in there, and they may be able to make this work towards the bot side. He waits. Clearing out a ward.
And there it is. That's
Don't control down.
the bot lane advantage that they now have been given. Haunter draws 2 top, takes 1 out. They know they now have numbers advantage bot side. TSM executes on that. So the trade kill and the turret ends up going TSM's in an extended play. It is their advantage, and they want to take even more with this blue buff.
Yeah, they had the timing. They saw Chaser grab it last time, and now it's easily theirs. They can start denying these as well as giving Bjergsen the other blues. Shock blasts abound. The more they can start creating Fog of War now, the more options they have to just deplete Dignitas' health bar and start these fights on their own terms.
Another thing to point out here is the synergy between Braum and Rumble. We can watch this play back. Haunter, they're playing it very well. The fact that he's able to get this much damage down and then time it really with the avoidance of the stun, that was the key thing there. If he gets stunned by the parallel convergence, or if he runs away too early and gets zoned by it, he doesn't get enough damage out to kill there. So really he's playing around the timing well. Excellent job.
Team's just going to go ahead and take side lane now, obviously moving a lot over to mid. The long lane has seen Keen do a little bit more fighting. We'll see if he gets back into a tussle here with Haunter on the top side.
Haunter wants him. Look at that damage.
He'll take the stun. He will easily take the stun. Leandri's burning through. And it's actually 11-11. I was going to look for a level difference there, but wow, Haunter is just controlling that.
The difference there, Riv, is a kill difference and also a difference in itemization.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, Keen is having to build all this armor to deal with his lane, right? So he is building Ninja Tabbies. Those don't really help you. He was building towards Seekers, which doesn't really help him against Haunter. And Haunter, with his early spell pen and much more AP, is going to be a lot stronger in that fight.
You know what's interesting? We haven't actually seen that as a strategy in a long time where you would have a swap of a lane. Actually, you got a fight coming in here onto Biofrost. Throws up the Unbreakable. Looks like he'll be fine.
No one to block the Jhin ult.
Taking the extra shots. Less squishy to get hit is Biofrost. As it were, the squishiest, or I should say the tankiest.
And off screen, Haunter just killed him, and he has an equalizer ready.
Right up the middle here if they want it. Lays it a little too close to the right side. Deathfire Touch with a potion on will not kill Chaser. And it looks like TSM's going to head down towards the Mountain Drake. Infernal Drake, sorry.
He needed to cheat a little bit to the left there to try to get that kill. Oh my God, that damage from Bjergsen, but... You can see the chaos that the Jhin ultimate creates. Unfortunately, they didn't have everyone coming in at the same time on top of it. But you just watch the 4 TSM members all dancing back and forth. No one wants to block for anyone. They're all running for their lives. And you can see the potential of this team comp, right? But Hanser coming in, gets the kill off screen. I'm sure we're going to get to see that here again. This is the initial play, and this is the chaos they want to create. In the back line, Jhin ult comes in. Keen not being here is the problem, right? Now, look at TSM dancing back and forth. Imagine if Keen is already there with the parallel conversions. Then on the other side, Hanser is TP'd in, he cleans up that kill, and Dignitas in full retreat. But that is the potential of the Dignitas comp. Unfortunately, just not executed there because they didn't have their mid laner. And if while TSM dodges, Keen is diving, you can't do that anymore, right? You have to stand and fight.
Looks like it's going to be harder for Dignitas to stand and fight here as TSM keeps coming away with these fights and the dragons.
Yeah, the double Infernal, so good with these pure damage compositions. When your top lane is not a tank, he gets so much more from the Infernal. And Hanser, already really fed, is going to be loving it.
Nice little dodge out as they put a little more harassment to the top side. Keen wants to keep this turret up. But it doesn't look like it's going to be much long for this, or very long for this world.
Yeah, especially can rotate up with that Abyssal Voyage and may look to do so. So that is, I think, what TSM is kind of showing respect to right now. But they're trying to shove in the lanes. They're trying to create pressure and move around the map to find where the hole is in Dignitas' play. And Hanser even moving around the backside, looking to set up for a dive.
Oh my
God.
Yep, took the words out of my mouth. They're under the turret now, but they actually have to worry about Dignitas just a scotch.
He still has the
but
equalizer,
not too much. They're going to go ahead and take this fight. One harpoon. Just about 10% of the HP on the side of Chaser. He can't really take too much more damage. After that, Shock Blast as well would be the rest of their HP. And TSM, as they retreat, can just keep firing back. What a volatile composition.
Yeah, extremely potent amount of damage. Hanser knows he can go for that dive because Lot is flashless. So that is great tracking of the summoners there. Goes for it, does not even expend the equalizer. Keen for Dignitas at least picks up the turret there, so they're going to get some gold back. But this is not a super potent split push Echo yet because he doesn't have Sheen. He was sitting on mostly armor for components. Now he has built up some damage, but he definitely wants to go towards something like a Lichbane if he's going to be split pushing.
Score line, TSM, Hanser. Right now, 7-2-1, 0 across the board. A bit of participation to his lane. You have 3 assists on Bjergsen, 1 assist over there to Svenskeren. A lot of this has been Hanser just absorbing so much, being at the fight at the right time as well. And as he stated, you know, he's interviewed him back at the finals last year. Said, Hanser, you said before you even wanted to be the best, and he still strives for that, playing really good this season. Able to do it on a variety of champions.
They're looking for the dive here on Hanser now, though. We'll see if he can defend. He has his equalizer. Can he make the play?
Well, here you go. Kenny's keep alive.
Oh my God, Chaser's
one
gone.
more time. It's going to take a 4v1. Hanser's still alive on the Zanyas. They're out and about. Dip, duck, dive, and dodge. And he almost takes out 2 before he goes down. 40 seconds on the clock
TSM's
for
on the
him.
Baron, and they cannot respond to this. This is just going to be a free TSM Baron as everyone is bot side for Dig.
Last shot. That was Biofrost eating it from the curtain call, so there's no more follow, no more damage. TSM gets Baron for Hanser going down on the bot side.
I mean, this guy is taking over this game on the Rumble. It's really bringing me back to C9 in the playoffs with Impact, absorbing so much pressure and still coming out on top. And Hanser is looking great, handing his own top dive performance.
That he is. It does not seem like Dignitas is even seeing him come out of the woodwork either. The wards that TSM has been able to put forward, as you said, walking up to Lod in between turrets. They demand respect this game with the amount of pressure that Hanser has been able to put in the top lane.
I mean, the funny thing is, you reach a certain point of bed where you don't care who's there anymore. You're like, well, I don't know who's there, but it doesn't really matter. If someone's there, I'm going to kill him.
That rarely happens in LCS.
I mean, Hanser's reaching those levels. He's level 14, 2 levels above anyone else in this game. Oh, great, you ran into Lod, you're 4 levels up, a couple thousand gold up. You just instantly kill him. There's very few fights Hanser does not want to take now.
He is just about 2 levels, 2,000, as you can see now, over the members of Dignitas.
Yeah, I mean, 2,500 up on Lod. He is massive, both in XP and in gold. And hitting those power points with the Baron buff now on their team, they can look to force dives very easily. Right. Because if you get tagged by 1 piercing arrow from Wild Turtle and the equalizer gets dropped, you are dead to a shock blast, right? Any combo of those 3 means you just die.
Such great follow-up from this TSM team. Once they do find the first mark, Hanser, he's out there on the fishing pole. They almost take the bait, but they're able to get back off of this one. Hanser half HP here, but still can deliver. Looks like we're gonna get some shock blast from Bjergsen over on the left side. Him and Svenskeren actually gonna work mid-turret.
They're working it back and forth, controlling the vision in the jungle. So Dignitas has to take the long way around.
Yep.
Bjergsen will be able to knock down this turret at the same time. Hanser still shoving up bot. TSM runs now right back to bot. Jin has to take the long way around. They will have the numbers advantage and get an easy outer. Oh my god,
Hanser,
that's 2 harpoons.
Hanser doing a little dancey dance there. Svenskeren on the front line of the composition. And this exactly, actually, I should say, is exactly how you have to play this. We say no tank in the composition, more support from Biofrost, maybe on Braum, but you have to stay in the lead. You have to get in early, and you have to win.
Yeah, and they're looking to do just that. Shoving up with the super early Baron. TSM has taken a hold of this game. They want to dive or take the turret on this wave.
Nice unbreakable. They wait. But here comes the curtain call. Chaser on the side. Collateral damage is in. This is a whole hell of a lot of damage to TSM. Can they answer back with slivers of health? Trying to limp away. Remember, they can still kite this out and fire back with shock blasts and arrows, and that's exactly what they're doing. Yo-yoing in and out with slivers of health here. And Dignitas is going to do the same thing, but it's Chaser that gets cooked up. Sunday's next. Deathfire touch, and Leandry's burning him down as he's forced to head to the side, and now back in his own base to the fountain.
Even with that massive gold lead, very close fight there for Dignitas. Hanser critically did not have a good equalizer.
Yep.
Otherwise, that could have been a huge fight for them. Still, they get the inhibitor, they get the turret. A very well executed Baron power play for TSM. I mean, that's the big ticket item you're always hoping to get.
We are 24 minutes in here. Still going to have a few elementals to go, and they right now are always going to be in the hands of TSM, just making them stronger. This one allows them to do more of the poking that they've been having fun with as they pick up an Ocean Drake and third of the game.
They are looking very fearsome, keeping the pace of the game up as they have to do with this sort of composition. And Hanser is just going straight for a death cap now. He is going for the most aggressive third item purchase you can go for, really.
Almost close.
I say why not, right? This is
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
MR on Keen or Lod or Chaser. So if you get a hold of any of those 3 guys, they're just going to get so destroyed by the amount of damage that Rumble can put out.
Dignitas has to keep this vision up. They already know it. The focus on the top side is hopefully enough to hold off for the minion wave pushing in the bottom right now in an open inhib. Looks like someday we're going to do a little janitorial duty on the bot side and trim that up.
Yeah, you nailed it. It's about maintaining pressure in mid and top to let the minions do their work in bot. So TSM did this from bot to mid. Now they extend their vision in the top side jungle. They control these paths so they can move back and forth between mid and top and cut Dignitas off with this pressure point in the bot lane.
Lod, you can see him back and forth trying to, on the minimap, farm those minions in mid. He says, even on the front steps of my base, it's not safe. And now TSM slowly walking towards the top side of the map. Bots open. They're going to go farthest away from that open inhibitor and now try to drop this, spreading Dignitas in. Curtain call. Just stand behind him. Everybody's moving.
Yeah, Dig just did not see the window in there. And with the curtain call down, that is a lot of the potency of their dive gone, because you need to use that in conjunction with the dive to create chaos. And now they're going to have to answer these minions that are on the Nexus. They're going for a desperation play. TP very far away from Sunday, but the Nexus is under attack. The inhibitor may go down before he even gets there.
Some will say he'll get there someday. And he is in. He's right on the Biofrost. Goes for Svenskeren, who was on the back, but is not able to finalize or get Ruthless Predator on a target they can kill. Keen goes in, parallel
Nice
into
equalizer.
a Devour, but he also used his Chrono Break. Ultimates were being used mostly in defense here for Dignitas as they get pushed into their base. Lod gets hit by the piercing arrow, trying to stay alive. And it looks like he'll get out, limping to the fountain. Bjergsen shocking through and able to get another kill there on a Chaser. They're looking to clear this last minion wave and get on to the Nexus turret.
Yeah, that one Nexus turret already fell to the minions. Dignitas needs the desperation play here. They have to hold on.
Whoa, instant explosion onto Lod. Summoners were already used, so he was doing everything he could. The dance out from Haunter. 10, 3, and 1 as he goes out nice and shiny in gold. 2-0. TSM take down Dignitas.
Haunter styling on him game 2 as TSM with a clean closeout to the series. Really looking on form this weekend. Back-to-back sweeps. It's got to feel good walking away week 6, 10-2. You know, TSM had one of the more shaky starts compared to what they're used to, you know, compared to their finish last year, and they seem to be coming to form. Towards the end of the split, they're getting better and better and better, and they really do look like they're performing as a cohesive unit. And with Haunter rising as a carry and rising as one of the best top laners in the league, there's so many threats.
The rest of the team performing much better. Questions, obviously, with the change all the way back of Doublelift to Wild Turtle in their bot lane. Not too many questions there as well. Playing either average or better to take the teams down that they have been put up against. Dignitas now 4-8 in the standings. Definitely a tough week going against TSM here to take out a win there. TSM has been surging lately with the rest of the teams at the top of the table, taking down CLG yesterday as well. So looking for Dignitas, the first game was pretty good in their favor. But again, we see the same focus for Someday in the top lane, and then a 0 result from that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was nerves or tilt or what it was, but there was a lot of mental errors in the play from Someday and Chaser. They botched so many of those plays. And even the first blood was only really given back because of a mistake from Haunter. The flash Q instead of the flash stun from Someday. That almost gives away the kill. Then Chaser stutters on the auto. That would have gotten the second kill, ends up being a 2-for-0 in a 2-for-1 dive. There's just, you cannot have those kind of errors. When you're putting this much focus top lane, you need to get something from it. And they not only got nothing, they actually gave Haunter an advantage.
Absolutely, and I think there was definitely something there where we see the tight kind of plays really going awry. Once Dignitas actually has to put themselves in that situation where communication becomes the forefront of how the play has to be successful, they start to crumble a little bit with the calls not all being there.
Yeah, it's just tough when it feels like their strategy, they're so one-dimensional. They're always going top lane, right? These teams are being able to play around it, and they're being a little creative, at least with level 2 gank path, trying to do something before their opponents suspect it. But still, if that's the only way that you can win, it's pretty easy for a team to counter pressure and to get advantages back. You know, even when they got a kill, Svenskeren was able to pressure enough that the waves went in Haunter's favor, and Someday was behind, even though his opponent had died.
It was very interesting coming into picks and bans too. We saw the Lulu ban from Dignitas. They were kind of focusing that would be the savior of this composition that actually just poked you out.
Yeah, that is one, the Lulu, I would love to, maybe I'll ask one of the Dignitas guys about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I want to know, you know, what that was about. I haven't really seen that be something that is played into just general matchups yet.
Absolutely.
But maybe it's something that's been coming out in scrims.
A lot of the comfort play has been coming through for teams. We still see Dignitas, we do see Dignitas trying to play a little bit of their own. They're bringing that Renekton that we've been seeing out. Keen obviously has his own variety pool, but it's just not coming together for them. There has to be an answer. What do you think they can look to kind of in the coming weeks to have that? Short answer as we're going to interview.
Short answer, they need to show more trust in their mid and bot lane, be more flexible, or you're too predictable.
All right, so with that win, let's check in with Kobe and the man who brought the fire in the top lane for